Hello everyone, myself Piyush N. Tandil, working as Assistant Professor in Electrical Engineering Department of Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. And the name of subject is Industrial Instrumentation, and right now we are talking the chapter number 2, that is strain gauge and strain measurement, and this is the module number 2.5. So in this module we are going to see the flow of content, that is strain gauge circuit. So there are different type of strain gauge circuit, like we can directly measure the change in resistance with potentiometer. Then after ballast circuit, Wheatstone bridge circuit. Inside of Wheatstone bridge there are different three types of different circuits. So now we are going to see all these in details.
Now we are going to talk about the strain gauge circuits. Instead of the strain gauge circuit, we can study different types, that is the voltage measure using potentiometer. So we can directly measure our voltage using potentiometer with respect to our strain gauge. Second one, that is the ballast circuit, in the, which we are going to measure the change in its resistance and apply force. After that, the Wheatstone bridge condition. So let's study the second one, that is the ballast circuit, because the first one, that is the voltage measure using potentiometer, we can directly use our potentiometer, and with respect to the ohm law, we can say we can use by using the ohm's law, we can directly find the change in resistance, and from the change in resistance we can find the applied stress to the material. So second one, that is the ballast circuit. In ballast circuit, right now we have one ballast resistance, and over here with the parallel of that we have strain gauge, that is the RG. RG is our strain gauge. When we are applying our strain, and over here V0, that is the output voltage which we are going to measure. Okay, for output voltage we can write simply like RV by RV plus RV, that is simple voltage divided rule. So V0 is equal to RV divided by RV plus RV into VI. So we can find our output voltage whenever we are not applying any kind of stress. Okay, whenever we are not applying any kind of stress to our strain gauge. But after application of the strain to our strain gauge, at that time the voltage is going to be changed, or we can say the output voltage is going to be changed. So the equation is going to become like delta V0 is equal to RV divided by RV plus RV whole square. Why whole square? Because we are changing our RG. RG, that is our gauge resistance, right? So we are changing our RG, that is the gauge resistance, divided by also RV plus RV. So RV plus RG whole square we can write over here into VI. Okay. Now, if we are multiplication both the side by RG, the value of RG, we are multiplying both the side by RG, we can write like RG into RG divided by RG plus RG whole square into VRG by RG. Okay, over here what is VRG? That is we can also call as a delta RG by R, or we can say delta RG by R. So what is delta RG by R? That is our change in resistance. And what is our delta L by L? That is our strain. So we can write the equation of GF like GF is equal to delta R by R divided by delta L by L. So we can also write delta R by R divided by strain. Okay, because E is our strain. So in this equation, if we are putting the value of E over here, so we can write like GF into E is equal to delta R by R. And what is delta R by R? That is nothing but delta RG by R. So we are going to write the value of delta RG by R as a GF into E. That is our strain. So V0 is equal to RV into RG divided by RV plus RG whole square. Now the value of dRG by RG, that is GF into E into VI. So we can conclude that the output voltage, or you can say the change in output whenever the stress is applied, so it is directly proportional to the applied stress, that is the value of E. So output is going to be directly proportional to the strain that is applied to our strain gauge, that is this strain gauge. Now, whenever the maximum sensitivity is obtained, when the value of ballast resistance is equal to the value of strain gauge. When the value of ballast resistance is going to be equal to the value of strain gauge. So we can write like RB is equal to RB. So in this equation, if we are considering RB is equal to RB, at that time this term is going to be unity, or we can say 1 right now. And 1 plus 1, that is going to be 2. So 2 square is equal to 4. So we are writing as delta V0 is equal to 1 by 4 into GF V0. Okay. This is the equation for the maximum sensitivity of the output voltage. Now, voltage sensitivity is obtained. When voltage sensitivity is obtained, whenever we are applying some amount of strain, at that time what going to be happen? the voltage is going to be changed, right? Because output voltage is directly proportional to strain. So output voltage is directly proportional to the applied strain to our strain gauge. At that time, what going to happen? Depending upon the value of strain, our voltage is going to be changed. So let's consider strain is equal to delta L by M. Again, strain is equal to delta L by M. So small amount of change in length, that is a small amount of change in strain. At that time, that amount of voltage is going to be observed. Then we can call it as a good sensitivity of our strain gauge. Second one, that is if the change in length is very small, but the change in voltage is very large, or you can say when change in length is very large, but the change in voltage is very small, at that time you can call it as a poor sensitivity. So sensitivity is defined as S is equal to delta V0, that is the output voltage, or you can say change in output voltage divided by the strain, okay, is equal to what is the value of delta V0, that is our GFE by 4 into V. You can write it like that, and this strain is going to be cancelled out from both the terms. So we can write like S is equal to 1 by 4 GF into VI. This is the final equation of our sensitivity of ballast type circuit of strain gauge. Now we are going to see the next circuit, that is our Wheatstone's bridge circuit. Okay, Wheatstone's bridge circuit of our strain gauge. So in Wheatstone's bridge, as we all know, we have one input and we have 4 different resistors. Over here we are giving a node A, B, C and D. We have a resistance of R1, R2, R3 and R4. For this Wheatstone bridge, if we need to write the output equation, we can simply write like V output, that is equal to V VA for the potential difference between the point B and B. Right now we are finding the potential difference, that is point B and B. So output is going to be indicated by the VA, the voltage between VA minus the voltage between BA. Okay, because we are only measuring the voltage difference between these 2 points. So VAB minus VBA. So again, we can write like if we are going to simplify the voltage across this point and across this point, that is for the VA, the voltage is going to be R1 divided by R1 plus R2. So this is the total resistance of that branch, because current is flowing in this branch. So we, if we need to find the voltage across this, the voltage across the resistance divided by the total resistance. Again minus, because we have minus the VA minus AB. So minus from this branch R4 minus divided by R4 plus R3. So R4 minus divided by R4 plus R3. Again, if we simplify this equation, we can simplify it by something like this. VE is equal to R3, R1 minus R1 R3 minus R2 R4, because this term of R1 R4 and this term of R1 R4 are going to be cancel out each other. So this is the simplified equation of this Wheatstone bridge. So VE including in bracket R1 R3 minus R2 R4 divided by the R1 plus R2 into R3 plus R4. So this is the simplified equation of the Wheatstone bridge. Now, if we are considering the balanced Wheatstone bridge, if this Wheatstone bridge is balanced, balance means what? The voltage between these 2 points is going to be 0. At that time, the R1 R3 is equal to R2 R4. So the R1 R3, the value of resistance R1 and R2 are going to be same, and the value of R4 and R2 are going to be same under the balance condition. Okay. So at that time, and if we are considering that the strain gauge, our strain gauge have 4 resistance, that is all the resistance are our strain gauge resistance. At that time, what is going to be happen? The value of R1, R2, R3 and R4, all the resistance are going to be changed whenever we are going to apply any kind of stress. So at that time, the same equation we can write like if we are going to put the R1 value, then we can put the R1 plus delta R1. What is the delta R1? That is the change in resistance when we are going to apply any kind of stress. Second term, that is the R3. So R3 plus delta R3, because we are increasing the resistance, right? Because we already studied the ballast circuit. In ballast circuit, what we are going to do? We are going to change the actual resistance plus the change in resistance when stress is applied. Same as well as minus for the R2 again R2 plus delta R2, and for R4 again R4 plus delta R4, and so on for the determinant side. So on the determinant side also R1 plus delta R1 plus R2 plus delta R2, again R3 plus delta R3 plus R4 plus delta R4. So this is the equation of V output whenever we are applying any kind of stress to our Wheatstone bridge, and all the bridge, or we can say all the resistance are going to change its value. Now V out is equal to, if we are further simplify this and neglecting the second order, then after at that time we can get this V in is equal to delta R by R1 minus delta R2 by R2 plus delta R3 by R3 minus delta R4 by R4 into R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2 whole square. This is the equation which we are getting from this equation. Right? Now let us consider that R1 by R2 is equal to R3 by R4 is equal to P, because our bridge is less. Right now we are considering as a balanced bridge, right? So R1 by R2 is equal to R3 by R4 is equal to P. So again, putting this value into this equation, we can get V out is equal to V in into delta R1 by R1 minus delta R2 by R2 plus delta R3 by R3 minus delta R4 by R4 into P divided by 1 plus P whole square. So this is the equation. We can simplify this equation into this equation using this value of P. Right? Now again we all know that what is gauge factor GF is equal to delta R by R divided by delta L by L. And what is delta L by L? That is our strain, or we can indicate it by E, small e, right? So right now we are writing over here GF is equal to delta R by R divided by E. So what is the value of delta R by R? It is GF into E. So putting all the value of GF for different resistance, that is R1, R2 and R3, R4. So at that time, what is the value of R1 by R, delta R1 by R? That is delta R1 by R, that is GF1 into E1. So we can write like G1 E1 minus G2 E2, then after plus G3 E3 plus, minus for R4, that is G4 R4. This is the simplified equation. This is the simplified equation of the Wheatstone bridge. Now practically Wheatstone bridge can be classified into a different manner like quartz bridge, then after half bridge and full bridge. So let's study these all three types, that is the quartz bridge, then after half bridge and full bridge in detail. Okay, now in Wheatstone bridge we are going to see the first one, that is quarter bridge, then after half bridge and after that full bridge. Okay, in quarter bridge what's going to be happen? Only one resistor, that is the R1. Right now we are considering the resistance R1 is going to be acting as a strain gauge, and remaining all the resistance, that is R2, R3 and R4 are going to be fixed resistance, and the value of R1, R2 and R3 are is equal to the value of R1. But here one thing we need to notice, that is the change in resistance 2, change in resistance 3 and change in resistance 4, that is the delta R2, delta R3 and delta R4 are going to be 0. But we have some amount of value of only delta R1, because only one resistor is going to be active as a strain gauge. At that time only delta R1 is going to be considered, and other, there is the delta R2, delta R3 and delta R4 are going to be equal to 0. Okay, so at that time we can consider our output is equal to V out V in into G into epsilon 1. Why we are writing over here 1? Because we only have the value of delta R1 by R, that is delta R1 by R1. Okay, so and remaining all the value are going to be 0. So our output, final output equation is going to be equal to V in divided by 4 into delta R1 by R1, because only one resistor is going to be active as a strain gauge. Okay, so in next, that is the half bridge. Now in half bridge, if we are going to write the output equation, V out is equal to V in P divided by 1 plus P whole square. Now right now only two resistance are going to be active as a strain gauge. Right now we have total 4 resistance, that is R1, R2, R3 and R4. Right now in half bridge only 2 resistors, that is R1 and R2 are going to be active, and remaining all, that is the R3 and R4, that is the delta R3 and delta R4 is going to be 0. But we have some amount of value of delta R1 and delta R2. So if the value of R1 and R2 are going to be same, and again if the value of G1 and G2, that is the gauge factor of resistor 1 and gauge factor of resistor 2 are going to be same, at that time E1 is equal to minus E2. Why we are writing minus? Because if the resistor 1 is going to be forced as a tensile force, then resistor 2 is going to be feel as a compressive force. So if the length of cable of the R1 is going to be increased, at the same time length of cable R2 is going to be reduced, because what is E, what is it? That is our stress, that is delta L by L. So whenever the value of R1 is going to be positive, at that time the value of R2 is going to be negative for its strain, right? If the value of E2, or we can say if the value of E2 is going to be positive, at the same time the value of E1 is going to be negative. Remember that, okay? So again, delta R1 by R is equal to minus of delta R2 by R because of the negative sign, because one is going to be expressed as a compressive force and second is going to be expressed as a tensile force, right? So that's why we are writing over here minus. Then after the output equation of it, we simplify this equation. We can put like G1 and G2 are going to be same and E1 and E2 are going to be changed only. But what is the E1 and E2? It is going to be equal but in minus sign. Remember that, okay? So output is equal to V in G E, because G is going to be same, E is also going to be same, divided by 2. Because why we are writing divided by 2, not divided by 4? Because E1 and E2 are also same, but in minus sign. So in minus sign. So right now in quarter bridge we have divided by 4, but right now the same value, that's why we are dividing by 2, because it is going to be added and 2 by 4 is equal to 2, 1 by 2, right? So V in divided by 2 into delta R1 by R1. So this is the difference between quarter bridge and half bridge. What is inside of the quarter bridge? That is only one resistor is going to be act as a strain gauge. What is in half bridge? Two different resistors are going to be act as a strain gauge and remaining two are going to be fixed, right? And now right now in the full bridge, we have the resistance value R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R3 is equal to R4. So the value of resistance, all the resistors are going to be same, and all the resistors are going to be act as a strain gauge. So the value of delta R1, delta R2, delta R3 and delta R4 are going to be varied depending upon its axis. Right now in half bridge, if we have two different resistor placed in different location, same as well as in full bridge we also have four different resistors are located in four different manner. Right now if we are considering in half bridge, if the strain gauge of one is going to be placed something like this, then the strain gauge for the two is going to be placed something like this. And for the full bridge, the strain gauge 1, 2 and this is over here 3 and over here 4. So this is how the strain gauge are going to be placed, and if one is going to be experience a compressive force, the second one is going to be experience a tensile force. So in full bridge, the value of G1, or we can say the gauge factor, are going to be also same. G1 is equal to G2 is equal to G3 is equal to G4, because it is going to depend upon the multiple. Next, that is the strain, that is epsilon E1 is equal to minus E2. Why minus E2? Because it is going to experience a different force. If one is going to be experience compressive, the other is going to be experience tensile force, right? So E1 is equal to minus E2 and is equal to E3 is equal to minus E4. You can see in the figure. Then we can write the output equation is equal to, because of we have four different, so 4 by 4 is going to be 1. So output equation is going to be like V in G into E. And now we are putting the value of G into E, that is delta R1 by R. So what is the value of changing? We can also write delta R2 by R2 or delta R3 by R3, because all the values are going to be symmetrical, right? All the values are going to be same. So whatever the value we can write over here. Same as well as we can also write delta R2 by R2, because delta R2 by R2 is equal to delta R1 by R1. It is going to be same. So one thing we need to notice over here is V output is equal to V in into delta R1 by R. So over here we are dividing by 4 in quarter, because only one resistor is going to be act as a strain gauge. Over here in half bridge we are dividing by 2, because two resistors are going to act as a strain gauge. And in full bridge we are not dividing by anything, or we can say 1, because all the four variable or all the four resistors are going to act as a strain gauge. That's why this is the VE delta R1 by R1. So from this theory we can also conclude that in full bridge the sensitivity is going to be very much of higher. Sensitivity is going to be very much of higher compared to the quarter bridge and half bridge. Okay. So this is the simplification of quarter bridge, half bridge and full bridge Western bridge study. Thank you.
And here are some questions that are very important with respect to your examination. Please note this down. And if you have any kind of query regarding this topic and this video lecture, you can feel free to, you can ask me inside of the comment section. Okay, thank you.